Oh. Welcome into Rover Sports, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Gonna pull up Periscope here and get us started. But Shenk, it's great to have you back, my friend.
Hey, man, it's good to be back, man. We went on a little bit of a long hiatus, and that's what happens when we live busy lives. But hey, we're back here live for you guys tonight, and it's a great Tuesday night, and we got a lot to talk about today. You know, the Yankees are they're playing right now as we speak. Mm-hmm. And we got, obviously the NFL slate already a quarter of the season. It's already in the books already.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just it's just a fabulous time for sports. It's very exciting to watch sports, especially in October, because you got the baseball playoffs coming up now. The NFL and the college football slate is on your way already. Basically a month in. So you get to watch, playoffs and basically football and all year round and all month round for the month of October. And I think it's going to be a great month, so to speak.
Off season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, Shenko, right here, I'm going to go up and pull up our Periscope here so I can read what you guys are saying to us. As the Wi-Fi is going in. I want to just open this up, Shenko, because it's important that our viewers can be able to communicate with us throughout the process here, because we really, again, we're a show that thrives ourselves on checking out what you guys have to say, and we have 7 people logged in, which is great. So, Shenko, you're a New York Giants fan. I mean, we had a big bet that the Giants, you think they're only winning 5 games this year?
I don't know if they're even going to win 5 games. I honestly think they might win 2 if they're lucky. I mean, the way that they've been playing, because it's so bad. I mean, going off what the first couple games against the Cowboys, they couldn't score to save a life that game. And basically after that game, he had the Lions. Basically, they couldn't muster up any offense. And then after that, it was more of just the defense plays well enough to win us games, and the offense can't score. Right. And then the last 2 games that we played, the Giants played, basically the offense plays very well, and the defense, doesn't do well for us. So there's really a lack of a consistent effort, across all 3 phases of the game, and that goes back to coaching. Because that really just comes back to the coaching matters, and I really hope that the Giants look elsewhere for your head coach. I mean, Ben McAdoo, we'll get that into a later segment.
We got to get to him. Yeah,
but what do you think about the Giants so far, and do you think they're close enough to be able to, get back on track? Because I know it's a long season. They can mathematically they're still in it. For the playoffs. So I want to get your take on this.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Matt. And you guys can, again, ask us fantasy questions or anything. I've been struggling with fantasy football. Amari Cooper's been a complete dud for me this year. It's a very unpredictable season, with the Carolina Panthers, with them really beating New England, with the Buffalo Bills being good. It's kind of a shock to the system to see this type of NFL action going on, Shenko. But you know what about the New York Giants? They can't run the football, and it's the same story. I went on a pretty big tirade about the New York Giants and them not being able to run the ball. So, when I look at this team, Matt, the New York Giants just simply can't run it, and Odell Beckham, his talents aren't being utilized. Ben McAdoo's kind of a jerk-off. We can admit that, right?
Sure.
The way he speaks in the press conferences, you got to get in a CEO type of guy. And, the way I look at the New York Giants is I still think that they can beat the Chargers. And then that game in Denver is really what, the season comes down to. I'm not ready to quit on this team. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not ready to really quit on the New York Football Giants. And you guys can weigh in with comments about your teams. The Chiefs, a big win over the Redskins the other day on Monday Night Football, Shenko. I mean, what have you seen thus far, though, in the NFL? What teams do you think are real, and what teams do you think are pretenders?
I really think this year, I think what you just said, the Chiefs, because I think they're contenders this year, because the fact of the matter is, how many times you're going to, go to the playoffs every year with Alex Smith and everything. And, I think that was just a blessing in disguise, getting Patrick Mahomes the second for your football team, because Alex Smith, it might be his last year with the Chiefs, and he's basically playing like a man possessed. And he's really just playing so well this first 4 games.
Yeah.
And I really think that they can really put it together. They got a great defense. Alex Smith's a great facilitator. He doesn't make poor decisions. I really like the Chiefs as well. I also feel the Panthers can be a for real team if they can bring it together, their offense, which they definitely did last week or 2 days ago when they played the Patriots. But that was a pretty. The Patriots have been one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
But I think that their defense can really carry you into games. That Panthers defense is really good. And, I'm going to go off on a limb here. I'm going to say the Rams in the NFC West. I mean,
really?
I really think they're going to, it's going to be very close, tight race between the Rams and Seattle for that NFC West title. You guys can weigh your thoughts on that too. I think Jared Goff is the real deal. I think
I think you're dead wrong on the Rams. You're dead wrong on the Rams. You're dead wrong on the Rams.
It's all opinion. The Rams are lucky.
The Rams were lucky as heck to even go ahead, Shenko, and beat the Dallas Cowboys. If you watch that game, the Cowboys fumbled the ball. The Dallas Cowboys, by the way, they're losing their identity. They're trying to become this Dak Prescott, basketball on grass offense. They can't run the ball a lick. And I'll tell you what about the Los Angeles Rams is they are a fraudulent 3-1. They're exactly like last year's 3-1. I look at Jared Goff. He's not a franchise quarterback. He can barely throw the ball a couple of yards in the air. And he's a guy that's right now, he's just not making mistakes. But I look at this Rams team, and I know that they're going to come back down to earth. They're going to finish 6-10, 5-11, 7-9. Do you think that this Rams team gets to 8 wins? So you think this is a playoff team? I'd love to wager money on that because Seattle is going to pound their ass this week. And I think the Rams are the biggest pretenders in the NFL. I like Sean McVay, but come on. Jared Goff is not that good. This defense is going to get worse.
You are dead wrong, as you would tell me.
The Rams,
dead wrong.
Everybody's sucking off the Rams right now. Everybody's on the Rams.
I really think Seattle is that good of a football team. I mean, yeah, they got a great defense, but outside of that, I think their offense is just putrid. I think Russell Wilson cannot muster up an offense at all to save his life. I mean, I just don't. I mean, they're too inconsistent for me. The same thing last year. They're very spotty. The run game is very spotty. I haven't seen that much from Eddie Lacy this year. And, Baldwin's, been kind of hurt, recently. And when you look at Russell Wilson and that team, I just don't see them dominating games like they did. Like the first, they dominated last week, but the first half of that game, they were struggling with the Colts without Andrew Luck. And, that's unbelievable. So, we got people, getting excited, man. He's got a 3-run homer from Didi Gregorius. So the Yankees just tied the game at 3-3. This house is roaring with Yankee galore, man. It's amazing.
Pride, baby.
That's
Yankee
awesome.
Pride, baby.
That's awesome, man. That's what it's all about. But yeah, getting back to what we were talking about.
It really is all about.
I think the Rams, I think they finally are, they actually are benefiting now from good coaching. I really think that, I'm trying to remember his name. Just a 31-year-old. Sean McVay. I think he's a guy, he brought in the right coaching to surround Jared Goff with the talent that he needed, the great mentorship that McVay has. Because Jeff Fisher could not get it done. Look at all that talent they've had. I think better coaching now for the Rams is finally paying off. And so I'm excited to see what happens in the next couple weeks.
Fisher's one of the biggest frauds that we have seen, in NFL, really in the NFL. He did make a Super Bowl, but, I look at the Rams, and they're an interesting team. Carolina, I'm not pressing the panic button with New England at all, Shenko. I still think that the Patriots find a way to get back. I still think that their defense will be okay, Shenko. And
sure.
I look at this. I don't know. I don't really believe in Kansas City winning the AFC. I just don't.
I think they have a great shot. I really think we wouldn't count them out yet.
They make clutch plays. They're going to be deep into the playoffs again. Pittsburgh with a big win against the Ravens, and John Harbaugh is kind of overrated. I think he's massively overrated as a head coach. He had one special season, which, had fortunate breaks, but I really think John Harbaugh, too, really is overrated. But, Shenko, I wanted to get your thoughts on college football. You're wearing the Georgia hat. You went to Athens a couple of weeks ago to Sanford Stadium. We did.
We did.
We did. Hell yeah.
Oh man, I mean,
amazing.
I got the pom-poms in the back, man, from the game, and
yeah,
this is definitely a special moment, just being there, just watching, a great college town, going to a great college town, and really just living your dreams, man. Because we went to a great football game. It's a beautiful campus there, beautiful people down there, people very friendly. And that's what it really is all about. Everybody just talks, college football down in the great state of Georgia, and that's what life is all about.
Life is about
just
living
life, and just what they do down there. It's
awesome.
Unbelievably great.
The South is just an incredible place to live. I think that it's the best place to live in the United States. Maybe the West Coast. I haven't been there, but just the people down south. They love to talk. They love to talk to you. They're actually very warm, and sometimes when you're in the Northeast, Shenko, like we've been accustomed to, it's tough to really get. It's tough to get the same caliber of folk.
Yeah, you don't get the niceness up here. I mean, we're from the city of brotherly love, in Philadelphia, and you get no love in Philadelphia because it's the biggest stereotype. It's such a falsehood. It's really rough. Exactly, and it's just getting that Southern hospitality. Man, anybody that's watching this podcast who's never seen the South or been down to the South, man,
I suggest you go to an SEC.
It is like that Southern hospitality is like no other. It is the greatest thing on this planet Earth, and I just love it so much.
So Shenko,
it's a life-changing experience.
You now think, this is such a great atmosphere.
But outside of that, though,
the Yankees game is an incredible atmosphere.
Oh yeah, everybody's all fired up. It's playoff. It's finally playoffs now.
What a special 3-run home run! I think the Yankees now should be able to coast in this game right now, Shank.
Oh, it's still early. It's only the momentum. It's only the first inning, man.
Squarely back. You got the right pitcher in there. That was just such a momentum-changing play, but we are here on Rover Sports right now. NBA preseason is off and underway. The season is too damn long in the NBA. Do you like that they're starting the season in early October, Shenko?
I love it. I love basketball. I think it's a great thing for just like being in the limelight of just like everything like sports, business-wise, and we're all itching to see all the changes in basketball when you look at Paul George, Carmelo Anthony. We can go off about the offseason about how great it was, Carmelo, Paul George going to the Thunder. I could go on and on. Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving trading teams. There's just so many different things we can just talk about the NBA offseason. It's just really amazing.
Let's talk about that right now. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving and now going to Boston. I think Boston is a legitimate threat to win this conference this year.
I think so. They definitely got the tools now. with Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward. They drafted
Al Horford.
They drafted Jason
Love the Jason Tatum pick. I think Jonathan
pick.
Isaac's going to be a bust. I think Dennis Smith's a good player too, but that guy Lauri Markkanen on the Bulls is not looking that great. So
sure.
I really like Tatum. I love this. What Boston really did it right. Their trade with the Nets was such a rip-off of Billy King there. And it really is, when you look at Boston, I really think that they have a special group. And then we look at the New York Knicks. They trade Carmelo Anthony to the Thunder, and they get back Enes Kanter, who is a good backup center. And then you also get a guy, my favorite basketball player, Doug McDermott.
Dougie P.
Who's a hell of a shooter.
Dougie
hell
buckets.
of a shooter, can slash, can get to the rim whenever he wants to. He's just going to dominate games, man. Average like 28 points a pop, Dougie.
I think you're a Knicks fan now just because Doug McDermott got traded there. You just love Dougie buckets, man. Look at you.
Ever since Creighton. I miss those days.
Yeah,
I miss Creighton basketball.
That, man.
I miss the Creighton basketball of the Missouri Valley Conference. But anyway, let's go on. I want to talk a little bit about some more football, Shenko. So we have the New York Giants. The Jets are 2-2. That's what fucking pisses me off. The Jets are 2-2 and the Giants are 0-4. And everyone acts like the Jets are better than the New York Giants. They're not. The Jets still suck. It's that the Giants' schedule's been really hard. They played 5 great quarters of football. I think this Giants team is going to turn the corner.
I mean, you are what your record is.
I'm tired of everyone bashing the New York Giants. I'm really tired.
They always do that, man. They always want to bash the Giants.
Yeah, because we're the top dog. You know, everybody wants a piece of us. They're jealous of Eli Manning. They say that we're lucky to win championships.
Yeah.
That's what the national media says. And you look at the Eagles. Say it. What do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles, Shenko? What do you think about that garbage franchise?
I mean, I can go off about that franchise, but
I'll go off about their fans.
That's
what this podcast is for.
I mean, I don't want to stir away any of our listeners, but
stir away.
But I just feel that, you know, I mean, there's definitely outliers too. Like, you know, there's definitely people that I know that are good people, like Eagles fans. You can have like an intelligent conversation with them, but for
few and far.
But there's Eagles fans out there usually that are very they're very like loud. They're very boisterous. They will never let you get your last word. They always think they're right. You can't have a conversation with them about football at all. It's always their team or the highway. No matter how bad they're playing, their team's always better than yours. And, I understand there's a fine line between being passionate about your team and just being a straight, like, moron. And basically, there's a huge difference there. And I feel like they basically borderline that with being a moron and having between having the knowledge of what you're actually talking about. So, I mean, I basically said that nicely, but for the most part, I think, they definitely need to be, I think they just need to, be a better
more
sport,
realistic.
be realistic about everything. I said that nicely.
I think the Eagles fan. You know what I think the Eagles fans.
I really could have went off on them.
If I were an Eagle fan, and I honestly believe sometimes karma. So the Eagles fans, the fact that Eagles fans are so nasty to Giants fans, it's kind of made us dig our heels in even more to showing more Giants pride. But the way that I kind of look at Eagles fans, of course, there's a couple of good ones, but the majority of them, they prefer to really stomp on your grave. A lot of them are nasty, nasty fans that if you go to a game, they're not very accommodating or welcoming people, and they're just kind of dark and nasty. When you have to go to an Eagles game, it's a really, really tough place to go and watch a football game, and that makes you dig your heels in even more. They cheered when Victor Cruz got hurt. They cheered when Barber got hurt. And when a player gets hurt, you need to show class, and oftentimes Eagles fans don't do that. And it is frustrating as heck to watch them celebrate, because when they celebrate, they love burying your head in the sand. I look at Giants fans, I think we're a classier group of folk, but again, that's up for interpretation, and everyone's gonna think that their fan base is classier people. What fans are you guys? You guys can comment on our show here, Shenk and Spence and Rover Sports. We love commenting on sports all the time. And Shenka, what I was going to say is that, Sam Darnold of USC, you've watched Sam Darnold a lot. You've watched pretty much every game he's played. He's gone from being the number 1 overall pick to now Sam Darnold having flaws and having question marks.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish he did come out last year as a true freshman. He really had a really great arm, just being able to facilitate the ball down the field last year, making much better decisions, playing in the big game, the Rose Bowl last year, playing very well against Penn State. And then, obviously, this year, there's a lot of question marks, him going on the road, struggling with his offense, not clicking, just being able to make the right decisions, at times, in big moments in games. I mean, last week, he had that crucial, third down play, and that really just was the turning point of the whole game at the end of the game.
Yeah,
and
you watched that Washington State game. Luke Falk is a good quarterback, don't you think, Luke Falk?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he's a good quarterback.
As long as he can throw the long ball, Luke Falk is going to be pretty damn good at the next level.
Yeah, I think, anybody who can throw a good deep ball is going to be, I feel, have a good chance of succeeding in the NFL. But, I think you also need to have, the right talent around you as well to be able to succeed. I mean, we can go on, go off all day about this.
So what coaches in the NFL do you think are going to get canned? Let's talk about coaches getting canned, okay? So I think Todd Bowles is getting canned. as Jet Central comes in and he joins live right now in Florida right now. So I think Bowles is getting canned. I think Pagano's getting canned. I think Anthony Lynn of the Chargers is probably out. The Giants coach is a question mark. Doug Marrone is likely staying. Let's think who else. I don't think Hugh Jackson is.
What about Sean Payton? Is he safe for his next year?
I think so, because they're starting to turn it around. He's my pick for Coach of the Year. He was my pick for Coach of the Year.
He'll be there, but
I think the Saints are making the playoffs this year.
Really?
When have you ever seen a Saints defense this good?
I don't think the Saints. I don't think they're that good of a football team.
I'm a believer in the
man.
Saints. They went up to Carolina. They kicked ass in Carolina. Then they went to
London.
What team? They are on a freaking roll right now.
You know a team in the same division who has huge question marks. Now I know it's only one game, but the Falcons struggled mightily against the Bills this year or this week. I mean, they couldn't score. You know, Matt Ryan struggled. He had 2 interceptions. I mean, that Bills defense really dialed it up against Matt Ryan. You know, did a very good job pressuring him, really trying to fluster him in the pocket. You know, Matt Ryan just made some poor decisions, and you know that's what happens when you pressure good quarterbacks. You know, they're going to get erratic. They're going to be out of sync. They're not going to be on target with their wide receivers. And that's really what's the key to beating any good quarterback in this league. But I think hopefully Atlanta will bounce back after a bad loss after last week. But that I think that's still wide open. It's going to come down to the Saints and Falcons once again. I think the Saints are right there too. I don't know if they have enough to beat the Falcons either.
You're forgetting about the Bucs. You're forgetting about Carolina.
They barely beat the New York Giants, man. I don't want to hear about them either. So you
think the Bucs are getting wrecked by the Patriots this first?
I will take that back. I really think the Buccaneers actually have a good chance to actually win in that division.
Because Jameis is good.
I think they are making good strides as well.
Yeah, I mean, their defense will come alive. Their defense struggled, I still think that they're inconsistent, though. I like the Saints, and I like Atlanta still. I mean, Atlanta went, and they killed the Green Bay Packers, though, in week 2. They looked awesome. And then they went up to Chicago. Even the freaking Steelers couldn't win in Chicago, and I'm not worried about Atlanta at all. I think it was just a weird outcome. I think the Bills actually have a decent defense, and I think I'm wrong about Sean McDermott. So, what about Bruce Arians? As Jet Central here logs in and says, what do you think about Bruce Arians? That's a pretty damn good decision.
That's a good hot topic.
That's a good hot bit. Well, Bruce Arians, the one thing about Brucey is he is older, okay? Arians is older. He has had some health issues. Now, Arizona goes to Philly this week. It's a 6.5-point line, which is unbelievable. That Philly is favored by that much over the Cardinals. I see a real letdown game. Arizona has momentum. That roster is way too talented for Arizona to be going around and kind of jerking around with the San Francisco 49ers, playing rope-a-dope with them. That defense is too damn good, Shenko. But what do you think about this topic, my friend?
I really think that Arians is not the problem with the Cardinals. I really feel like they need to take a new direction at quarterback. I think Carson Palmer is definitely over the hill. He's been in the league for a long time. I don't think he still has what it takes, to play at a high level. I think their offense has been struggling again this year. Carson Palmer still can't, muster up a offensive performance to really have a consistent, performance.
He's like a statue back there in the pocket.
He's a statue. I think he's like a purgatory type of guy. He's not. He's okay. I mean,
he's not great.
He's not going to get you over the hump. He's the same thing with like guys like Tyrod Taylor and like other guys like Andy Dalton.
Let's list them. Let's list the starting quarterbacks around the league. Okay, so you could see Arians going to no. I don't see Bruce Arians going to the Colts, though. I don't. I could see David Shaw going to the Colts. He's expressed interest in Stanford, but I don't see that at all. I could see like a young OC getting that head coach. I couldn't see Arians going anywhere else. He's too old at this point. If he gets canned, he's done. All right, so let's list the quarterbacks that are over the hill. So in the NFC East, I think we have Eli, Dak, Carson Wentz, and Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins a lot. I think he played really well yesterday. I'm a believer in all 4 of those guys. I think Eli has about 3 to 4 more years left. So that division, you have good quarterbacks. The NFC South also, Breeze, Winston, Breeze, Winston, and then Cam and Matt Ryan. So you got 8, and then the NFC. Then you have the NFC West, which is interesting. I think out of the NFC West, 3 of those quarterbacks won't be there in 2 years. I don't think Hoyer's going to be there. I don't think Goff is going to be there. And I don't think Carson Palmer. But what do you think about Jared Goff? How long will he be an LA Rams, Shenko?
I think Jared Goff is going to be there for a long time. I think,
you think he's going to be there 8 years? 8 years?
8+. I think he's got what it takes to be a franchise quarterback in this league. I think I would take right now. You're going to call me crazy. I would take Jared Goff right now over Wentz to develop him as a quarterback.
This is a poll question. List the number of years for the fans that are listening right now. List the number of years that Jared Goff will be on the LA Rams for.
I'll tell you what. If we're going to have a discussion on this, I'd rather have Jared Goff than Wentz because I think he's has obviously. I mean, I don't think that Wentz can throw a good deep ball. I think he can be very erratic with that deep ball. So with Carson Wentz's arm delivery, that's he's gonna have to deal with his mechanics. I think Jared Goff gets the ball quick. I think he can hit short to medium routes with ease. Without that long delivery, he has a decent arm too. I think he's shown much great strides this year. That was really poor grammar, but I just really think that he has good strides.
It's part of doing a podcast.
I think he's got.
Gotta learn.
I think he's got what it takes to really, take it to the next level in this league. I mean,
I think Carson Wentz is a million times better than Jared Goff, man. Carson Wentz has arm strength. Carson Wentz is a gamer. Carson Wentz is good.
I'm not going to say that Jared Goff's going to be a better pro than Wentz. I really think that Wentz is going to be a great pro as well. I think both of them are going to have great careers in this league. They both want to win. They both are drafted.
I don't think so.
Well, I think the Rams would rather. I think the Rams rather would take Goff. They took Goff is because he came out of Cal. It was a pro style type of offense. It's a quicker. It's easier to relate to the NFL
Jared
game.
Goff can't throw
with
the
Wentz
deep
coming out of North Dakota State, coming out of that more of the shotgun type of set. I mean, it's kind of
pro style,
not really pro style.
With a Bowles. Who was that coach? Who's the coach of Wyoming? It's Craig Bowl. Yeah. Anyway, I really think that Jared Goff is a fraud. And just how you think Bryce Petty's a fraud, and you make fun of me all the time for being a Bryce Petty homer. You love Jared Goff. Everybody's loving Jared. One thing about Jared, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He just doesn't have the skill set. When you watch Jared Goff play, it's so apparent that he doesn't have the skill set to lead this Rams team. I like what Wade Phillips is doing there with that ball club, though. San Francisco, you definitely think that they're going to get Josh Allen next year or quarterback. You don't think Brian Hoyer's the guy, right? They are so devoid of talent on the offensive side, and this is what you see a lot with offensive coordinators that become head coaches. They think that they could just take over that side of the football, so they overcompensate by drafting defensive players. And San Francisco, they need to restock. I like the way they're headed, but they just have no weapons on the outside right now, the Niners.
They need more fans to fill their seats, too. Every time I see Levi Stadium.
Santa Clara.
In Santa Clara, they always are always not filling up their seats, man.
No one can drive that far, man.
Yeah, it's like an hour or so, man. That's what they want to do
How about the fucking Rams, man? No, the Chargers. The Chargers.
That's the ultimate joke of a franchise.
That's a joke. The Eagles fans took over that soccer stadium full of crap. I mean, that's a little fishbowl, man.
That was a little fishbowl.
How crappy is that stadium, man? That's like a third world stadium.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
LA doesn't want that team. They should go back to San Diego. Spanos took that team from the lovely folks of San Diego. Plus, if I'm going on a vacation, do I want to sit in LA traffic or do I want the beautiful honeys of San Diego? I love. I'm more of a San Diego guy than an LA guy, and I always will.
You've been to LA?
I actually have not. I haven't been there for a while. Have you been there?
I have not. I've never been out.
Maybe
west.
I'm speaking too soon, but someone's got to pay for this podcast to come to LA. Someone's got to show us an LA good time here on this podcast.
Yeah, man, I would love to see what LA is
I just think San Diego's more chill, man. It's more mellow. I've been to San Diego in the past 2 years. It's just an incredible place.
Talk about an ultimate joke of a franchise, though, man. Like they really need to get their. They got to get it together with the Chargers. I mean, I mean, there's no turning back now. You can't just go back to San Diego now. I think that's just
Phillip Rivers
just
turns
really
back
bad.
every day to drive over.
Yeah, he actually commutes from San Diego in his little Winnebago he's got going.
Does he have a trailer with his 28 kids or whatnot?
Probably.
Phillip Rivers is a great guy, man.
And that's a shame. I think,
it's a shame he's going to retire. That's what's a damn shame.
And he's never going to win a Super Bowl with the Chargers.
No. Would you take Eli or Phillip? If you had to go back?
This is interesting because, if he had to go back, obviously.
If he had to go
obviously, back. I would go with Eli because he's proven it. He's won 2 Super Bowls. But, honestly, though, if you really go back and look at the numbers, man, I'm gonna go off on a limb here. I'm a Giants fan, too. I'm going to say Phillip Rivers, and the reason why I say this is because I really think, I know you're calling me crazy on this, but I really think he's got comparable numbers to Eli. Phillip Rivers has been on bad teams. He hasn't been in the playoffs, so he's not going to have that playoff experience like Eli. But I feel like if get Phillip Rivers, a good supporting cast around him, I really think that, he could have won maybe a couple Super Bowls. I mean, the world may never know because he wasn't on great teams, but I just feel like because Eli in some of those years, man, you have to admit, he had some pretty bad years. Eli, he led the league in interceptions in one year, a couple years. And, he definitely played inconsistent at times. Also from the bad offensive line play and wide receivers not catching the ball. But that's a topic for another day. Sure. But my point is you can make a case for Phillip Rivers, having, those numbers comparable to Phillip Rivers. But obviously you can't take Eli Manning, those 2 Super Bowls, you can't take that away from him.
Sure.
Those numbers are very comparable, but, they're 2 great quarterbacks, but
Listen,
it's just one of those things.
Eli Manning can throw a deep ball. Phillip Rivers is okay, but Phillip Rivers in LA, I mean, he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. Eli Manning went into Dallas and won that game against the Dallas Cowboys. He went into Green Bay and beat Brett Favre. He led that 2-game winning Super Bowl drives for touchdowns. What a catch! What a catch! Oh, God.
That's a great catch.
That's why we didn't hear your dad erupt.
Yeah.
Hey, but listen, so Phillip Rivers, I think, has always been overrated, man. He a lot of years, the Chargers, have they made the playoffs a whole lot? No. Okay, Eli Manning
hasn't had the opportunity.
Eli Manning's never had like in the past couple of years, he hasn't had a running game. He hasn't had a great defense. Jerry Reese hasn't teed him up with good players around him. Right now, he does have great players around him. Eli Manning's one of the greatest competitors that this league has ever seen. And Eli Manning throws deep balls. He makes things happen. Phillip Rivers is a guy that's a shot putter as a quarterback. If you watch his throwing motion, Eli Manning's light years better than Phillip Rivers in terms of mechanics. Rivers is a gamer, a good quarterback like a Matt Stafford, but Eli Manning's an elite Hall of Fame quarterback, and Phillip Rivers is like a McNabb quarterback. So, I would take Eli any day. I wouldn't even think twice. I would take Eli over Big Ben as well. I think Phillip and Big Ben's even more of a comparison because Ben, he had Willie Parker that first year, If you remember back to that, they played Seattle, remember? And Seattle was kind of a weak team with Sean Alexander. He pretty much we didn't hear about Sean Alexander after that Super Bowl game. The refs were awful in that game. Big Ben was a game manager when he won a championship. Eli Manning went into Dallas. He made things happen versus Romo that year. Eli Manning's had a legendary 2 runs. Those 8 playoff wins are incredible from Eli Manning. So
absolutely, you can't take that away.
I mean, I just don't. Phillip Rivers in New York under that scrutiny, I mean, it is damn hard to play in New York City. You guys have been great on this podcast. Shenko, we got a couple more minutes, man. If there's anything you want to get to, if there's any fantasy questions, if there's any questions for our podcast, you guys have been awesome again. And Shenko, I'll let you have the floor to ask me anything that you have on your mind.
I mean, we can go on all different avenues here, but, I definitely want to make a tribute to this podcast today to everybody that's hurting from the recent tragic events that happened in Las Vegas. That's definitely been something that's been weighing on my mind, and just watching the news, it's just been very troubling and very, very sad. And I want to shout out a prayer to all the victims that are hurting, especially in Las Vegas. And people are also still hurting with the Hurricane Harvey and the hurricane that hit Florida as well. So
it's been a rough time.
It's definitely been a rough time. In our great country, and we're definitely doing our best to say our prayers, and I hope people are really taking light to everything that's happening in our country, and we definitely something that we just got to make sure that we're doing our part as a community to really just step up for the community. And really just, being there for our citizens and, just having their backs. And, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the prayers and family. But
that's beautifully said, Shenko. And, I was actually at a Jason Aldean concert like maybe 3 weeks ago. And you can't live life scared. There's going to be evil people that only, a few evil people can ruin lives of thousands of innocent people. And that guy is evil beyond belief. And what he did from a hotel, which was really hard to defend against, is something that's very hard to defend. And tragedies like this, unfortunately, it's part of our world. You can't live scared. You got to go out and live your life. But I pray for the people that have passed away. May their journey to heaven be, may they have a great stay in heaven. They didn't deserve to have that awful thing happen to them. And for their families here back home. So it's a horrific tragedy. It's really scary stuff, the rifles and things of that nature. And you just have to take a step back and just pray for the victims in that situation.
Yeah, and that's
and not time for political agendas or crap like that. It's just time to come together as a community,
as a nation.
And shout out also to Tom Petty. It was just a really rough day because Tom Petty is just one of my favorites. I also saw him recently, and it's kind of been a rough patch though, Shenko, these last couple of days. And
it's very, very
you just gotta pray every day, and you can't take life for granted, man. It's a fragile thing. You gotta go out, you gotta live your life. You can't live in fear, and you gotta go out and make things happen, and stay close to your family, stay close to your friends, and be there, for people. Man.
Absolutely, man. Well said.
Damn right, Shenko, and it's tough to obviously talk about stuff after that, but Yankees up 4-3.
Yeah. I mean, we were just
big home run, baby.
Big home run to
Yankees
Brett
are powering,
Gardner.
man. And now here's Aaron.
Very well.
Aaron comes up to the plate. Aaron,
the judge.
Aaron's one of the best. This Yankees offense, one of the best offenses maybe in Major League Baseball. And what a crazy comeback from the Yankees, really showing a lot of heart. And once you get hot in Major League Baseball playoffs, you can go on a run. It's one of those sports where you can catch a run,
I mean, it's different in the NBA where you could be an 8 seed and have no
and
chance
you get clobbered by Bron.
Bron or the Warriors.
Bron.
Your favorite player.
The Bron. No. Who do you guys like, Bron or Draymond? I'm much more of a Draymond fan than a Bron fan, but
even though you have LeBron shoes, like a million pair of LeBron shoes.
Come on,
I got you.
He pretty much monopolizes. He monopolizes the shoe brand, bro. LeBron.
How does he?
LeBron and Kevin, because their shoes are pretty much the only players that are pretty much marketable right now in the NBA. I mean, I know you have Kyrie's and Westbrook.
Wait,
maybe.
What? Are you serious? No.
No. What I meant to say is LeBron James and Kevin Durant, they have so many shirts, so,
Oh, man, there's so many guys that are, very marketable. I mean, look at Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Aldridge, Jimmy Butler. I mean, the list goes on. Kyrie, Gordon Hayward.
Kyrie's the only guy who makes shoes, man. Kyrie Irving,
Kevin Durant.
Whatever shoes. LeBron has so many shoes from the soldiers.
LeBrons, you got Durant.
The LeBron soldiers are fire.
You got Kobe's, you got Jordans.
Oh, yes. So that's like 4 or 5, okay? But the LeBron soldier, you don't have to like LeBron James to wear LeBron soldiers. Those things were incredible back in the day. Yeah, LeBron James has the coolest clothes out of anybody. Maybe LeBron or Kevin Durant. Jeremy Linsanity.
He's got a pair of shoes.
Remember Linsanity? And what about Dellavedova? The Delis. He thinks Ron Snow thinks it's going to be Dodgers and Yankees. I know the Dodgers have been struggling recently.
I could say, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see how that plays out for the Dodgers.
Name the Dodgers. I know they have Jock
But the thing is, after the Yankees, I hope they win this game. But after this, they got to face a very tough Cleveland Indians team.
Oh,
like,
and the Indians.
I feel like they're the best team. Like,
I do too.
They're the hottest team right now.
Too.
I just don't. It's going to be a tough series. I'm excited.
Jeremy
to see
Lin
that,
in Asia is huge. You're absolutely right. Like Yao Ming, that's a great point. Jeremy Lin too. I like him as a player. I think he's with D'Angelo. No, is he with the Hornets or D'Angelo Russell? He's been a guy that's bounced around a lot. Jeremy Lin's a guy that I love the intensity for which he plays basketball with. I think a marketable guy. Who do you think's going to be marketable out of this draft class? Who do you think's a young up-and-comer that's just going to take over this league? I think Dennis Smith. I think Dennis Smith
like
can
Dennis
be a
Smith
legend, man.
But I'm a Knicks fan as well, so I'm going to say my boy Frank, the point guard.
Frank Nicotovida.
Yes.
What about Ron?
I want to see his progression.
Ron Baker. The Air Rons.
He's not a rookie.
The Scott City Rons.
You know what's crazy?
What's
I know
crazy?
He said, our buddy here says Lonzo. I can't disagree on that because I feel like he's got the tools, man. I mean, he's already shown it. He's the Summer League MVP. He had a couple assists the other night. Had 5 points. I think you're just scratching the surface, man. I think he's going to be a great player in this league. I
do too.
I think he's going to make other guys around him better.
Guy is a special passer.
I think he's got all the tools and everything that's what it takes to really become a great player in this NBA.
I like
his work ethic is great. I've already seen him, watch him on film, in the weight room and stuff.
He's
on
all
Lakers.com.
about basketball all the
yeah.
time. Well, yeah, I mean that's going to be obviously propaganda crap though on Lakers.com. They ain't going to show him, doing nothing. They ain't going to show him eating burgers and stuff. But I really happen to like. I really like LeVar Ball. I haven't watched his reality show, but.
Speaking of LeVar Ball,
pulled his son out of high school or something.
You know what, though?
He owns FS1. He owns FS1.
You know what,
I don't care what you say.
I'm for it. I'm
Are you
for
coming
what he's
around?
doing.
You're coming around to LeVar?
I am. I used to be a LeVar hater. I'm actually starting to come around about him and this is why. I feel like LeVar, he has that I don't care attitude, and I feel like you should have that attitude because everybody in the world is for themselves. So let's call it spade to spade here. Everybody wants to make their own advances. There's I feel like in this the world we live in, there's definitely less people that actually really care about you. And you obviously have your close friends and everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
yeah.
LeVar is doing what he doesn't care about anybody, whoever he hurts in his path. He doesn't give a damn crap about you. He just wants the best for his kids, himself, for him to make the most money. And you know what? I'm for all that because
I'm for capitalism.
Because I'm for just him just doing everything he wants, to make the most money.
He's successful.
And this is the thing with his little kid.
He's really successful.
In college, or in the guy in high school.
Yeah, the kid in college. Honestly, that kid's the most forgotten kid.
And that's the thing, though. High school, yeah, it was okay, but I don't remember stuff from high school anymore. I went to college. I had a good time in college.
High school, man. I'm glad I don't remember high school because I was a different guy in high school.
So for him to pull him in to do homeschooling in high school, go ahead. You're all those people in high school are immature. They're gonna bring
they
drag
his son down. How many times were you in high school, Shenko, and you have these guys that'll steal girl sweatshirts and the guys are just jerks. A couple of guys in high school. Were you ever around a group of guys where you'd be joking around, making dick jokes, making funny jokes, and then the girls come around and it's oh, how dare you say that? Because they all try to put, you know what they do? They all try to put on a damn face.
Yeah, most people are two-faced.
No, everybody's two-faced. But in high school, It's like that times a million. It's that times a million. And that's why, hopefully, on this show, we ain't going to be two-faced. Even if this show makes it big, man, we got to stay true to the roots, man. We got to stay true to the roots, man. In high school, oh my gosh, man. People would come over my house. They'd crap up my house. They had no regard for you. And guess what? Your friends in middle school, when you get to high school, they choose friends based on how many girls that they can bring in. That's
This is also true.
Isn't that true? Like there'd be kids that are borderline, like don't play sports or not as cool as you, and they'd bring them in, man. If you're friends with a girl, sorry.
No, I was just gonna agree with you. Like if you know, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, yeah, if you're friends with like other acquaintances that also have girlfriends, of course they're gonna go flock to them because that's that's what guys like, and it's the interaction and stuff, and But the thing is like if you're, I mean, a true friend's gonna be there through and through. If you're not like a guy who hangs out with girls a lot and everything, and that's a true friend right there, and and that's somebody that you got to keep around because there's not a lot of those people in those worlds.
No, and guess what? Some people will change too. So thank your lucky stars every day.
Oh sure,
and you know what the key is? You got to be independent too. Like you got to be good at being by yourself and like being interdependent. You know what I mean? And not.
Are we about to bring PJ Fleck into this?
Well, PJ Fleck, let's absolutely end this note on a PJ Fleck note.
All right, what's the PJ Fleck row the boat thing of the day? Wait, we should have a row the boat segment.
It's change your best every day. I feel like I'm so inspired now. I feel like going out tonight now, just after this podcast. I feel like going out. I feel like going home. I feel like going out trying to get girls after this. But basically what PJ Fleck says every day, Shenko, is you got to change your best every day. You can't rely on other people. You gotta make it happen yourself. But what PJ Fleck says is failing is growth. Embrace failure. Embrace the tough times.
I love that. That's because that's a great motto to live life. PJ Fleck changed my life. He is the guy to my left, man. He introduced me to PJ Fleck, his row the boat mantra, and everybody that's listening to this podcast, if you don't know PJ Fleck, look him up on YouTube and what he stands for, the row the boat theme, because it really is a game changer for your entire life. You approach your life, in a different fashion. You just focus, on the present. You're rowing in the present. You're focused on, the here and now. Your back is toward the future. You don't know what the future has in store for you as you're rowing in the past. You're looking at your past. You can't change it. So I think that's just a great model to live by. You're living in the present moment. You're not having any anxiety, and you're just basically, living life and loving life to the absolute fullest. And and just continuing to strive to be a better person. It's all included in that row the boat, and it's definitely a thing that a mantra that's changed my life forever. And I'm very thankful for that mantra. Spence, it's been a hell of a ride, man.
What a pleasure.
Yep.
Guys, every Tuesday night we're going to try to tee up, or maybe Monday night, Shenk and Spence. And tomorrow night we'll have special footage in our ESPN studio. We're taking this party on the road. The great news, Shenko, is I'm breaking news on our podcast right now. And that is tomorrow night, man. You are invited to join on the ESPN show. So we'll see if Shenko can do that tomorrow. I didn't even warn him. But there's an empty location. So we're going to be on ESPN Radio in Philadelphia on 6:10 a.m. tomorrow night, guys. So these two guys are going to put on our fancy clothes and step up to the big plate tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it, man.
So these two guys on this couch, we're going to the big time tomorrow.
Rockety, rockin' low.
Great pod, man. Alrighty. We'll see y'all. Have a good night. Uh-oh. No, I'm cutting that off. I'm cutting that. Oh no.